old world, success has a shape. It was vertical, higher floors, better title, corner office. Most people are reporting to you, but I think that symbol is starting to break. Because what if the higher you climb, the more fixed that you become? Fixed to one city, one tax system, one lifestyle cost, one identity. And what if freedom now is not about being higher in the building, but being less trapped by the building? This episode is about the shift from vertical status to portable leverage, from the old corporate grid to your own sovereign stack. I'm your host, Tang, and in today's acceleration note, let's talk about why the old symbol of success was height, but the new status is portability. Maybe the old ladder didn't disappear. Maybe it became a cage, not a dramatic cage, but a comfortable one. For a long time, success was vertical. You moved up, higher title, higher salary, higher floor, higher status. The corner office was not just a room, it was a symbol. It said, you made it. And I understand why that was powerful. Because in the old world, physical height and career height were almost the same thing. The higher you went in the building, the higher you were in the hierarchy. But I'm starting to question that symbol because a lot of people are climbing higher, but owning less of their time. They earn more, but need more just to stay in the same place. They look more successful, but become more fixed. Fixed to the office, fixed to the city, fixed to the lifestyle, and fixed to the system that gave them the status. Maybe the old ladder didn't disappear. Maybe it became a cage. Not a dramatic cage, but a comfortable one. Good title, good salary, good office, but very little freedom to move. The real cost is not only rent, it is what I call the location tax. The cost of being physically required to stay inside one high-cost system to prove your value. High rent, long commute, expensive lifestyle, social pressure, high maintenance identity. And the strange thing is, a lot of people accept this as normal. They say, this is the price of success. You want a good job, you live in the expensive city. You want the title, you pay the lifestyle cost. And maybe for a long time, that makes sense because the value was tied to physical success. You had to be in the room, you had to be near the client, you had to be inside the office, and you had to be at the center. But now, I'm not sure anymore, because if your work is digital, your clients are global, your tools are cloud-based, and your value is based on judgment, then why should your life still be pressed by one expensive city? If your value can move, but your lifestyle cannot, then you're not fully free. You're just a remote capable, but still location dependent. And there's a big difference. This is where the math becomes uncomfortable. A higher salary in a high-cost city does not automatically mean more freedom, because what matters is not only what you earn, it is what you keep, what you can choose, how much time that you own, how much optionality that you have. Someone earning more on paper may still have less real agency, because after rent, tax, commute, lifestyle pressure, and emotional maintenance, the number becomes thinner on paper. On the other side, a person earning less on paper, but working globally, living with lower friction, and keeping more discretionary income may actually have more freedom. This is the portability premium, not escape, not laziness, not pretending to be rich in a cheaper place. It is a different equation. Earn from the global network, spend in a lower friction environment, build assets that are not tied to one desk. The old map says, go to the center, go to the expensive city, go to the highest tower, go to the strongest company. But the new map asks something different. Where is your leverage highest? Because the center is no longer only where the biggest buildings are. The center is where your leverage is the highest. So what does portability actually mean? I don't think it means having no structure, and I don't think it means moving every few weeks, working from a beach, and pretending life has no friction. That version is too shallow. What I'm more interested in is what I call the sovereign stack. Not sovereign in a political way, sovereign as in how much of your value can you carry with you. I think the new career stack has 4 layers. First, income portability. Can your work move? Second, tool portability. Can your workflow move with you? Your AI tools, your template, your system, your creative process. Third, network portability. Can your relationship exist beyond one office? Fourth, operational portability. Can your contracts, banking, business setup survive outside just one local system? This is what I mean by the sovereign stack. It does not mean you have no country, you'll avoid responsibility. It means your entire life is not dependent on one physical system. In the old world, the company gave you the stack. The office, the title, the email, the identity, the network, the calendar, and the status. But in the new world, more people will have to build their own stack, their own tools, their own reputation, their own audience, their own operation system. This is uncomfortable, and it is also where the agency begins. This is why places like Da Nang, Lisbon, Chiang Mai, Bangkok, or Bali becomes more interesting. Not because they're perfect, they're not. Every place has trade-offs. Visa issues, tax questions, healthcare, community, infrastructure, loneliness, discipline. So I don't really want to romanticize it. But these places show a new geography of work. A city no longer needs to be the global financial center to become useful. It just needs good enough infrastructure, good enough lifestyle, good enough community, and access to the global network. That changed the map. Because the old map was built around concentration. Capital was concentrated, jobs were concentrated, status was concentrated, opportunity was concentrated. But the new map is more distributed, not equal everywhere, but more flexible than before. And that matters, because if your value comes from judgment, taste, creativity, AI workflows, capital allocation, or communication, then your physical location may be less important than your operating system. This is a big shift. You become less like an employee inside one hierarchy, but more like a node, a high leverage node, someone who connects skill, tools, network, and judgment across places. This is why portability is not only about travel, it is about becoming harder to trap. But the hardest part is not the plane ticket, it is psychological. Because many of us are still addicted to the old symbols, the title, the office, the hierarchy, the business card, the salary number, the feeling that if we're not inside the system, we're falling behind. I understand that. I spent years in the system where status were visible. The project, the title, the meeting, the client, the role, the deadline. And honestly, those things still matter. I'm not here to pretend they're meaningless. I'm here to start to think they're not enough, because the safest place may no longer be inside one hierarchy. Hierarchy can feel safe, but they're also rigid. And when the old world changes fast, rigid things can break. A portable person is different. Portable skill, portable judgment, portable network, portable income, portable reputation. That person is not risk-free. Nobody is risk-free, but they are less dependent on just one gatekeeper. And that is the difference. I often talk about being a strong tree in the wrong forest. This is connected, because sometimes the answer is not to become a strong tree. Sometimes the answer is to stop being rooted in the wrong forest. How do I become more portable while still being serious? How do I build skills that travel? How do I build reputation that is not trapped inside just one company? How do I build income that is not completely dependent on one location? How do I build judgment that compounds across fields? That is the real work, not escape, designing your life so the system does not own every part of it. This is Tang, and this was today's acceleration note.